I think before we open questions to the house, it's integral for me to share that the last week that I spent reading about you and hearing everything that you had to say, so many people question you, including Juhi, who's in the house. It's been exhilarating, it's been enlightening, and more than anything else, I think it gave me a certain sense of understanding about where I am. Being at a crossroad of my life emotionally, and also now as a newfound parent, I read some of what you had to say about even parenting. To me, it was extremely enlightening to read that not to nurture the do's and don'ts so strongly on your child. You know, we all have theories of parenting, but I think just what I imbibe from what you had to say is that if I'm strong-willed and I exude a certain amount of pleasantness and I give out the right amount of energies, my child and my children will emulate that, imbibe that, and I don't have to constantly force feed that knowledge on them. They will imbibe it from my energy source in any case. That is what I drew with, am I right?
No.
Okay.
See, one level right, but it's not a question of energy and don't make simple aspects of life mystical, because my entire life is dedicated to make mystical very approachable. But generally in the society, people are trying to make simple aspects of life mystical. Rearing a child is not a mystical dimension of life. It's… millions of people have done it. For thousands of generations, people have done it. We are not reinventing anything here. It's just a simple biological process. Every creature does it. A bird is teaching its offspring to, find the worm, and the worm is teaching its offspring to escape the bird. All kinds of things are happening in their own way. Similarly, human beings are doing it, but as we get more educated, we become more fussy about it. There was a time that a whole lot of parents had 8, 10 children, they did not even know their names, number one, number two, they called them. But they grew up somehow they just provided the basic ecosystem and they just grew up. So let's not make it too whatever, because you can easily… because today is a time of just one child or two children, and we become totally, overly emotional about what is ours, and we lose perspective of what is the reality. A child will grow up anyway. If they're nourished, they will grow up. Now, what should they grow up as? Should they grow up confused? Should they grow up strong? Should they grow up stable? Should they become sage-like? Should they become something else? That's a question. What they should become in the world is a social issue. That will be decided by the times in which they grow up and the exposure that they have. Now you become a filmmaker, not because you're intrinsically a filmmaker, because you're in Mumbai, you come from that kind of family and the atmosphere around you is like that, naturally you choose that. Suppose you were somewhere else, let's say 1,000 years ago you were somewhere else, would you be thinking of filmmaking? No, you would be thinking something else. So what we do in our lives is just a circumstantial thing. Let's not read too much into it. The question is, when we have children, how complete and joyful and wonderful are they? Because every life is aspiring not to do this or that. Every life is aspiring only to become a full-fledged life, that's all. Whether it's a worm, insect or plant or tree, they're only aspiring to become a full-fledged life. There is no other aspiration in life, including ourselves. Only problem with the human being is, we know what is a full-fledged worm, we know what is a full-fledged mango tree, but we don't know what is a full-fledged human being. This is the only problem. My work is just this, to make people perceive, not understand. You must understand the difference or the distinction between perceiving, experiencing and understanding. Not understand, but perceive and experience what it means to be a full-fledged human being. And that's all that must happen to your children and every other children, every other child on the planet. What should happen? They must become full-fledged life, that's all. For this, they need an ecosystem and nourishment, not teaching from another time, because you belong to another time, you're past. You may not like it, I'm not saying as a director you're past. I'm saying in terms of time compared to your children, you're past, okay? So one important thing that we need to do when we have children is not to help them not to get overly identified with us. This is to make an investment, heavy investment, child means, but not expect any return. This is difficult for a stock market world, how to make an investment without return. But this is what bringing up a child means. You want to make a heavy investment, no return expected. This is all. If you want to… because I've… in raising my girl, I won't go into the lengthy affair, but I made sure nobody teaches her anything, nor did I teach her anything. No 1, 2, 3, no ABC, no Mary had a little lamb, because I don't care whether Mary had a lamb or not, you know. People said, Sadhguru, the way you're bringing up this girl, she won't know how many fingers she has. I said, I don't care whether she knows how many fingers she has, as long as she knows how to use her fingers. Why should she know this is 10? She thinks this is 100. Actually, this used to happen. When she was just… because I just exposed her to nature. As much as possible, I exposed… if there is nothing else, at least I took her up on the terrace and showed her the stars, which you can't do in Mumbai. You will show other kinds of stars in Mumbai. So, she would look up at the sky and say… she would call me by name, first name, and say, Jaggi, 10 stars. Because in her mind, the biggest number is 10. Somewhere she heard 10.
Yeah.
So she didn't say million, she said 10. I said, yes, 10. What is the problem? Whether 10 stars or 10 billion stars, what is your problem? You think you're very knowledgeable because you know there are 100 billion galaxies. In what way does it matter whether there are 100 billion or there are none? What way does it matter? Because you are not seeing stars, you are only seeing the reflection in your mind, isn't it? If you spend time to know the nature of what makes you experience all this. So, she asked me once something, so I just told her just this is all you need to know about life. Never look up to anybody. She looked at me like this. I said, not even me, because the value of me will be completely lost the day you look up to me. You must look at me just as I am, then you will see immense value for who I am. If you look up to me, you will miss everything and one day you want to hang me on your wall. As you did to everybody else, to Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Shiva, everybody, you hang them on your wall, you will hang me also on your wall. You will miss the entire value, you missed all those guys. Now you will miss me also. You must look at me just the way I am. Never look up to anybody, never look down on anybody. This is all. Once you do not look up to anything or look down on anything, you will see everything just the way it is. If you see everything just the way it is, you will navigate your life, through life effortlessly.
That's true. That is simple theory and easy enough to live by. Thank you. Thank you, Sadhguru. With that, I think I would like to open the questions up to the house. And I'm sure we have a volley of questions which I can already see hands going up in the air. I don't even know where to start. Okay, yeah. Sorry? You worked